Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is Carmine Sabia for Explain America, and it looks like the good Dr. Anthony Fauci, he may be going to jail after all. Before we get started, please make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Those little things really help us out, and they help our channel continue to grow. Rand Paul is not giving up on prosecuting Dr. Anthony Fauci. Rand Paul says that Fauci lied about gain-of-function research when he sat before Congress, and we know how many people, Navarro and Bannon, who went to jail for quote-unquote lying to Congress or not testifying before Congress. Well, Fauci's no exception, and the problem Fauci faces now is we know that a lot of these pardons were signed with an Autopen, which brings into question their actual validity. The president has to sign those. So, Rand Paul has now again sent a criminal referral for Anthony Fauci to the Department of Justice, which is headed by Pam Bondi. What will they do with this? Well, that's a big question. You know, when it was Biden's Department of Justice, you knew what they were going to do. But Bondi now, she could use a win. She's got bad public relations right now, and this could be a very big deal. So, if she prosecutes him, then we're going to have to go to court and probably to the Supreme Court to find out if the pardons that were issued by President Joe Biden with Autopen actually are legitimate. We're going to find out for sure. I want you guys to watch this video with Rand Paul and let me know what you think in the comments.
So I believe he said that he didn't do gain-of-function research. What specifically did Fauci lie about in front of Congress?
About gain-of-function research. And in fact, we have him contradicted by several other members of the NIH who testified and said, of course, it was gain-of-function research. We also have the own words of the people receiving the money. The people receiving the money, the people who were the conduit with Wuhan, China, was a group called Eco Health Alliance. We have notes from them going back to the NIH saying, thank you for restarting our gain-of-function money. They actually acknowledged that it was gain-of-function. So, no, I don't think he has a leg to stand on here. And there are many observers of this who believe that he did lie and that he continued to change and modify the definition. In fact, one time when he testified, the NIH had changed the definition right before his testimony. In the hours before he came to testify, they had changed it on the website to a new definition. So he was playing games with words, but he wasn't being honest. They were taking viruses, they were combining live viruses, and they were making them more dangerous. They're growing them in human cells, which allows them to adapt and be modified to be spread more quickly among humans. And that's in all likelihood what happened with COVID. It was an animal virus grown in human cells and adapted over time to become contagious. And that's why when it took off, it wasn't like the bird flu. Right now, the bird flu can infect humans, but it doesn't go human to human. That's the way most animal viruses are to begin with, not very contagious from human to human. But this virus, COVID-19, when it first affected humans, it went through the human population, went around the world. And that indicates that this was not just your typical animal virus, but in all likelihood an animal virus that had been pre-adapted in the laboratory.
The rules that Fauci came up with for all of us to follow impacted families across the country. It's unbelievable to me that he gets pardoned and is off the hook. Do you believe that pardon was legitimate?
No. And I think he's probably not criminally liable for saying stuff that made no scientific sense. Like the whole wearing cloth masks over you. In all likelihood, people in America died because they took his advice, wore a cloth mask. They were 80 years old, and they took care of their spouse, and they got COVID anyway because cloth masks don't work. So it was bad advice. It was terrible advice, and we never should have hired him to be a public health expert. He also severely damaged a lot of our workers, the meatpacking workers, a lot of people who worked really hard in a messy industry. Once they had COVID, he should have told them, in all likelihood, you're safe. Instead, he told them, no, now you still have to triple mask up. You have to be afraid. Your family has to be afraid. He really didn't do any of the things that a public health official should have done.